مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعزائي طلاب الصف الثامن، أهلا وسهلا فيكم اليوم بدرس جديد من موديول 2 وهو الدرس الأول 2A Students Book page number 20. Of course the lesson today is reading lesson. At the beginning or before we start with the lesson we need to introduce the objectives of our lesson today. So the objectives أو أهداف الدرس لهذا اليوم: 1. To talk about famous landmarks. 2. To use common units of measurements correctly like centimeter, kilogram or even ton. Then number 3, we are going to find specific information in the text when we are answering the questions that follow the text. At the beginning, let's start with the vocabularies of this lesson, or the vocabularies that we are going to go through in this lesson. Number 1, dinosaur hole أو القاعة التي يعرض فيها dinosaurs أو حفير الديناصورات. Number 2, dinosaur jaw فك الديناصور. Okay, the next picture is planetarium أو القبة السماوية. Now let's go next. reptile hole قاعة تعرض فيها الزواحف. A slice of a tree trunk for a giant sequoia tree. قطعة من شجرة السيكوايا. Slice. The next one, a giant blue whale. الحوت الأزرق العملاق أو الكبير جدا، طبعا حجمه يعتبر هو من أكبر الحيوانات على وجه الأرض. Giant blue whale. Okay, now أعزائي الطلاب, let's try to read the text, to skim it, and then we are going to match the pictures 1, 2, and 3 with the people Brian, Tyler, and Mark. Let's start listening, and after that we are going to match.
Module 2, World Famous. 2A. 1. Read. Eastwood Secondary School. A trip to the American Museum of Natural History. At Eastwood Secondary School, we believe it's important to learn by experience. So last Thursday, we visited the American Museum of Natural History as part of a 5-day trip to New York City. Here are some of the things that our students enjoyed the most.
Brian, there were so many things to see at the museum, like dinosaur halls and reptile halls, but what really amazed me was in the Hall of North American Forests. There, you can see a slice of a tree trunk which used to be a part of a 92-meter tall tree in California. This particular tree was a giant sequoia tree and was 1,400 years old when it was cut down. Fortunately, people aren't allowed to cut down sequoia trees anymore.
Tyler, it was my first time there, so I didn't know what to expect. When we entered the Hall of Ocean Life, I was amazed. There's a model of a giant blue whale which is hanging from the ceiling. It's huge. The guide who was showing us round told us that it's almost 29 meters long and weighs over 9 tons. Imagine that. Another place I liked was the Hall of African Mammals. It has models of elephants and lions, animals which I absolutely love.
Mark, for me, the dino fan, the dinosaur halls were the best. That's where you can find the biggest collection of dinosaur bones in the world. I couldn't stop taking pictures. My favourite hall was the one with the 65-million-year-old fossil of Tyrannosaurus rex and fossils of other dinosaurs whose names I forget. T-Rex was very powerful, but I think the most terrifying thing was its head with its huge jaw full of 15-centimetre long sharp teeth. One thing I learned was that it had a larger brain than most other dinos, big, strong, and clever.
Okay, dear students, now let's go through the text again and highlight some words that were mentioned in the three texts that we listened to. Let's start with the last one, with Mark. The first word that I want you to look at is bones, bones, عظام, bones. The next one is the word fossil, fossil, حفورة. huge jaw, huge jaw, الفك العظيم أو الفك الكبير الضخم ممكن نحكي. Now let's go to the previous one, Tyler. Ceiling, ceiling, سقف. Hanging from the ceiling, متدلية من السقف. Ways, تزن, ways. ننتقل للنص السابق أيضا. Okay, the previous one here also we have, let's say, a word or two, forests, غابات. Cut down, يقطع. Fortunately, لحسن الحظ. الآن أعزائي الطلاب نذهب للصور. Picture number 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with picture number 1. Number 1, Mark, the last one. The one which talked about the giant tree. I guess it's the first one, Brian. And of course the last picture for the giant blue whale, Tyler. Okay, now let's go to the next exercise, which is exercise C. Now scan the text again, then read carefully and write T for true and F for false. T for true, true صحيح يعني. F for false لخطأ. و NM for not mentioned. Number 1. Brian, Tyler, and Mark all go to the same school. True. Brian's favorite exhibit was in one of the dinosaur halls. Brian. False. The slice of the tree is from a tree which grew to be 92 years old. False. نلاحظ حتى المعلومة بإمكاننا نتأكد منها 92 meters tall. Okay, 92 years old. Tyler's classmate liked the model of the blue whale. Not mentioned. الإجابة NM. لم تذكر هذه المعلومة في النص. Tyler saw models of some of his favorite animals in the Hall of African Mammals. هل كان الكلام هذا عن تايلر؟ Yes, true. Mark saw the largest dinosaur model in the world at the museum. Not mentioned. Mark remembers the names of all dinosaurs whose fossils he saw. No, false. T-Rex teeth were 5 centimeters long. This is false. That's all about the text. Now let's go to the vocabulary and try to answer the questions that are mentioned here in exercise 2, vocabulary.
2. Vocabulary. Listen and read. Then complete the sentences. Units of measurement. Weight. Gram. Kilogram. Kilo. Ton. Length. Centimeter. Meter. Kilometer.
إذن أعزائي الطلاب أن all these things, all these words that were mentioned are measurements, units of measurements, وحدات للقياس. فبنبدأ بالweight, gram, kilogram, kilo, ton. يرمز لهم بG, kg و T. length اللي هو الطول, centimeter, cm, meter, m, kilometer, km. وبنلاحظ الإجابة الأولى the distance between Paris and London is 344 kilometers. Adult Asian elephants weigh between 2.5 and 5.5 gram, kilogram, kilo, and ton. The answer is tons. Scientists believe that Tyrannosaurus rex was up to 12 meters long and 3.7 meters tall. So long, tall, meters. And weighed between 5,000 to 7,000 kilograms or kilos. Both of them are right. My cat's tail is 30 centimeter long. We only have 150 of sugar, 150 gram or kilograms of sugar. Is that enough for the cake? بهذا أعزائي الطلاب بنكون أنهينا درسنا لهذا اليوم. بتمنى يكون الدرس كان مفيد لكم. أي سؤال ممكن تسألونا إياه من خلال المنصة أو من خلال الحصة في المدرسة، الحصة الدرسية للطلاب اللي بيحضروا الحصص الدرسية. لكن الطلاب اللي اختاروا التعلم عن بعد بإمكانهم يسألونا من خلال المنتدى في المنصة، ونحن جاهزين للإجابة على أي سؤال. شكرا لاستماعكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.